Hello class, and welcome to section 10.2d, which is about the volume of a cone. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to use the formula to find the volume of a cone. A cone is a 3D figure with one circular base. So we talked about cylinders that have the circle on the bottom and on the top. A cone has the circle on the bottom and then comes to this point up at the top. Our equation for this is going to be pi times the radius squared times the height divided by 3. So you can also write this equation out as volume is equal to, we're going to use 3.14 again for pi times the radius squared times the height, and then dividing by 3. So our first example here, Ralph bought a flavored ice that came in a paper cup shown, so shown over here. What is the volume of the paper cone? So I'm going to go ahead and set up and say my volume is equal to 3.14 times my radius. So I come to look at the circle, and my radius is 2 inches. So I'm going to multiply by 2 inches squared, and then times the height. So that's from my circle to that tip. So that's my 5 inches. And then that whole thing being divided by 3. And then when you plug that into the calculator, you're going to get 20.93, and that 3 is repeated, but we're always going to round to just 2 decimal places, so to that hundredth place. And then our label again for volume is going to be that unit cubed. So my volume for this one is 20.93 inches cubed. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Again, setting up the volume, pi times that radius squared times the height divided by 3 gives you a volume of 117.23 feet cubed after rounding. For the next one, we have a waffle cone that has a height of 10 centimeters and a diameter of 6 centimeters. What is the volume of the waffle cone? Notice now we're given the diameter, which means in order to find the radius, we're going to need to take that value and divide it by 2. So that's going to give us a radius of 3 centimeters. And now that we know our radius, we can go ahead and calculate the volume by saying volume is equal to 3.14 times the radius of 3 squared times the height, which was 10, and then dividing that all by 3. And when you plug that into the calculator, you are going to get a volume of 94.2 centimeters cubed. Again, making sure that you cube that label because it is volume. Go ahead and try this one on your own. First step, find the radius, splitting the 18 in half. Plug that into your volume equation, and you get a final answer of 1,271.7 millimeters cubed. The last thing we're going to look at is how to find the height when you have been given the volume. So in this case, we're going to plug in our volume for V, so 36.62, and then that's going to equal pi, so 3.14, times our radius, which is 5.4 squared, and then times the height, which we don't know, so we're going to leave that as h. Make sure that radius is squared, and then dividing by 3. So we can simplify this first part out front, the 3.4 times 3.14 times 5.4 squared. And when you solve that in the calculator, you would get an answer of 91.5624. Notice I didn't round in the middle of the problem. So if you're in the middle of the problem, we don't want to do any rounding yet. And then that's still going to be divided by 3. Now you're going to have to use SADMEEP to get rid of those different values. So first I'm going to get rid of divided by 3, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides of this equation by 3. When I do that, the divide by 3 gets eliminated, and my answer over on this side becomes 109.96, and that's equal to 91.5624 times my height. And then in order to get rid of that 91.5264, I'm going to have to divide by that on both sides of my equation because division is the opposite of multiplication. And once I do that division and plug it into the calculator, I'm going to get a final answer that says h is equal to 1 point, and then it says 199, which means I'm going to round that up to 1.20 centimeters. And this is just one height measurement, so our label is not cubed. It's a single height measurement. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Setting it up, plugging in your volume of 803.84, pi times the radius squared, and then divided by 3. Solve the multiplication part, eliminate divide by 3 by multiplying by 3, and then eliminate that multiplication by division. You get a final answer of the height is equal to 12 yards. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please feel free to reach out and let me know.